You ever notice how a man's eyes pause just for a heartbeat when a woman walks by? Not because she's perfect, not because she fits some magazine definition of beauty, but because something about her feels alive. It's not just the curve of her hips or the shine in her hair, it's the energy she carries, the confidence that silently says, "I know who I am." That's the secret most people miss. Men aren't simply drawn to a woman's body. They're drawn to the story her body tells, how she moves through the world, how her presence makes the air around her feel different. There's a reason why one smile can turn a quiet room electric. There's a reason why some women aren't the tallest or the most flawless, yet men remember them for years. Because attraction isn't a checklist. It's a moment, a spark, a mix of emotion and perception that touches something primal. A man might notice her eyes first, not just their color, but how they hold him. Some eyes pull you in with curiosity, others challenge you like they're daring you to see deeper. It's in the way she looks at him, steady, playful, maybe even a little mysterious. Men crave that sense of being seen and tested at the same time. Then there's her smile. Real smiles move differently. They start from the heart and travel upward. When she laughs freely, not the polite kind, but the kind that makes her eyes crinkle and her shoulders drop, it disarms a man completely. It says she's comfortable in her own skin. That comfort radiates through her posture, through the small gestures, how she tucks her hair, how she leans in when she's curious. Men don't just see bodies, they feel presence. Confidence is magnetic. When a woman walks with a rhythm that belongs to her, not forced, not calculated, it sends a signal that she's grounded, that she owns her space. The sway of her hips becomes less about shape and more about certainty, and it's subtle things, how she listens, how she reacts, how her expressions shift. These movements create what men find irresistible, authenticity. A man might admire beauty everywhere, but the moment he senses authenticity, that raw, unfiltered self, his attraction deepens into fascination, because behind every physical detail that men claim to love, the hair, the skin, the legs, the lips, there's something deeper happening. Every curve, every angle, every tone tells a story about health, vitality, and emotion. Men don't consciously think, she's confident, she's nurturing, she's alive. They just feel it. That's why two women with the same features can leave completely different impressions. It's not the feature itself, it's the energy carried through it. Some men say they love long legs, but what they really mean is that the way she moves, graceful, strong, assured, makes them imagine what it feels like to walk beside her. Some say they love a soft voice, but it's not the softness, it's the calm it brings. Others say it's her hair, but it's not the strands, it's the way she flips it back when she's thinking, the small unplanned moments that make her human and unforgettable. The truth, attraction lives in those tiny unguarded seconds when a woman forgets to impress and simply is. When she's focused on her passion, painting, working, laughing with friends, her body moves differently, natural fluid. That's when she becomes most magnetic, and men sense it instantly. It's almost unfair, that moment when he's just scrolling through life and suddenly she appears, doing nothing extraordinary, yet something in his chest tightens. That's not just attraction, that's recognition. It's as if his instincts whisper, there's something real there. And once that recognition hits, he starts noticing everything. How she tilts her head when she listens, how she gestures while talking, how her laughter feels like sunlight. The beauty of a woman's body isn't just what's visible, it's what it communicates. Every movement says something about confidence, kindness, or curiosity. The way she stands when she's waiting in line, the way she adjusts her clothes without overthinking, the way she makes eye contact that lingers just long enough to stir questions. Men pick up on those details subconsciously, even when they can't explain why they're drawn in. A woman's body becomes attractive when it tells a story men can feel, and that's where the deeper side begins, because physical beauty might catch the eye, but emotional energy captures the heart. When a woman's energy matches her presence, when the way she moves, talks, laughs all align, she becomes unforgettable. Men remember how she made them feel. That's why the most attractive women in the world aren't always the perfect ones. They're the ones who are alive, expressive, in tune with themselves. That's the opening secret, the beginning of understanding what men truly find attractive. Not perfection, but presence. What keeps a man's attention once the first glance fades. It's the rhythm between what he sees and what he feels. A woman's body doesn't just stand still. It speaks in micro movements, in quiet signals that say, I'm present, I'm alive, I notice the world. The way she walks is one of those unspoken languages. Some women rush, others glide. The ones who glide, not out of effort, but out of ease, project something that instantly changes the atmosphere. Each step seems to match an inner beat, a silent confidence that says she knows where she's going and doesn't need to explain it. Men notice that, not because it's staged, but because it feels real. It's the same with posture. A straight spine isn't just about good form. It's about the message it sends, self-respect. When she stands tall, shoulders relaxed, eyes open, it tells the world and him that she's not hiding from life. That posture draws people in because it radiates a simple truth: she belongs here. Even gestures, the way she holds a cup, adjusts her sleeve, or tucks a strand of hair, can be magnetic. Those tiny actions are full of personality. They show comfort in her own skin. A man might not consciously register them, but part of him reads those movements as harmony, body and mind in sync. Then there's her voice, the bridge between body and emotion. Tone matters more than words. A calm, expressive voice can slow a conversation down, make a room feel warmer. Men are drawn to voices that carry emotion, not perfection. Voices that rise and fall naturally, that tell stories without effort, because a voice reveals the heart behind the face. And then there's presence. Presence is invisible, yet impossible to ignore. It's the quiet energy someone carries, even when she isn't speaking. Some call it charisma, some call it aura. It's what makes a man turn around and look again, not because of symmetry or makeup, but because something about her energy lingers in the air. Presence grows from how she treats herself, from rest, laughter, curiosity, kindness. When a woman's energy feels full, she doesn't need to demand attention. She attracts it. Men pick up on that almost instinctively. They notice the difference between the woman who moves through the world anxiously and the one who moves through it with quiet joy. That joy is magnetic. It shows up in her eyes, not as sparkle from light, but as the reflection of a life being lived fully. And it's not only what she shows, it's what she holds back. Mystery plays its part. When a woman doesn't reveal everything, when she lets silence do some of the talking, it builds curiosity. That balance, warmth, mixed with subtle distance, is one of the most powerful forms of allure. It says there's more to know, and that sentence alone can loop in a man's mind for days. The irony, most of these traits can't be copied. They come naturally when she's focused on living rather than performing. When she's immersed in her work, helping someone, lost in music, or laughing with friends, that's when her body language becomes most attractive. Because at that moment, she's not seeking attention, she's creating energy, and energy is what men remember long after beauty fades. That's the quiet truth. Attraction doesn't start with a man's eyes. It starts with a woman's relationship with herself. Her body becomes the mirror of that relationship. Every gesture, every glance, every laugh, revealing the story she tells herself about her worth. When that story is strong, men feel it before she even speaks. There's a quiet electricity in the space between two people who truly notice each other. It doesn't come from words, it comes from energy. A man might meet 100 faces in a day, but only one or two leave an echo in his mind. That echo is chemistry, a mix of emotion, curiosity, and timing that makes him want to come closer. Chemistry starts in the eyes but settles in the heart. When a woman looks at someone with genuine curiosity, not performance, not expectation, it creates connection. Her gaze says, I see you and I'm not afraid to let you see me. That moment of honesty hits harder than perfection ever could. Men notice when a woman's attention is real. They feel it when she listens, not just waiting to reply, but truly hearing. That kind of attention softens everything, even the hardest day, even the toughest man. It tells him that he matters for more than his role or his image. What makes this powerful is how body and emotion weave together. When she's relaxed, her gestures slow down, her voice lowers naturally, and the pauses between her words gain meaning. The entire conversation turns into a rhythm, calm, balanced, genuine. Men remember that rhythm. It stays in their memory long after the details fade. And there's another layer, kindness. Kindness may not sound like an attractive trait, but in truth it changes how the whole body communicates. It shows up in a woman's face, in the softness of her expression, in the patience behind her eyes. It shows up in how she touches the world, careful but strong. That kind of gentleness feels like safety, and safety is rare enough to be beautiful. A woman's laughter carries this same effect. Not the polite kind, but the laugh that comes from somewhere deep. It breaks tension. It creates warmth. It makes a man want to stay near the sound. Laughter tells him she's not trapped by her worries. She can still find joy. That freedom is deeply magnetic. Sometimes the most unforgettable trait is courage. Quiet courage. The courage to be herself in a world that keeps telling her to be something else. Men find that breathtaking, not because it's loud or dramatic, but because it feels like truth. A woman who knows her flaws, owns her scars, and still walks tall, carries a beauty that no surface feature can match. And maybe that's the heart of it. Attraction isn't about being flawless, it's about being real in a world that constantly edits itself. When a man senses that honesty, his respect grows alongside his desire. It's not just she looks good, it's I feel good around her. Over time, that feeling becomes the real measure of beauty. A body can draw attention, but energy keeps it. Confidence without arrogance, empathy without weakness, those contrasts make a woman unforgettable. She can be dressed simply, walking through ordinary light, and still hold the room because her presence tells a story of balance, strength with softness, humor with depth, peace with passion. That's the kind of attraction that endures. It moves beyond admiration into connection, the silent understanding that two people could build something, or at least change each other's day for the better. It's subtle but powerful. It's the moment he leaves a conversation feeling lighter, more alive, without knowing exactly why. People talk about glow, but few explain where it comes from. It isn't a highlighter or a filter. It's alignment, when body, mind, and spirit move in the same direction. Men notice that glow even if they can't name it. It shows up as calm skin, steady breath, a slower blink. It's the look of someone who rests, eats, breathes, and forgives in equal measure. Self-care is not a trend. It's the silent architect of attraction. When a woman looks after herself, her posture softens but stays strong. Her eyes stay clear. Her movements lose the rush that stress gives and replace it with intention. That ease becomes its own form of beauty. Maturity adds texture to that ease. Young confidence often shouts. Mature confidence whispers. It's in the quiet certainty that she doesn't need to compete with anyone else in the room. Men feel that difference immediately. The air around such a woman says, I know what I bring, and I don't need to prove it. Small rituals create that energy. A morning walk, music while cooking, the way she pauses before replying instead of reacting. Each act tells her body you're safe. And a safe body moves differently, fluid, open, graceful. That grace draws people in more than any outfit ever could. Even her flaws start to tell a story instead of a struggle, a freckle, a scar, the way her hair refuses to stay in place. These become signatures of real life. Men read authenticity in those imperfections. They trust it more than polish. It reminds them that beauty can coexist with ordinary humanity. What men often call chemistry is really emotional rhythm. When a woman speaks with awareness, laughs without apology, and listens with empathy, her body mirrors those emotions. Her face stays animated. Her gestures match her words. It's that coherence, the harmony between what's said and what's shown, that registers as natural beauty. Sometimes attraction grows in silence. The pause before she answers, the half smile that suggests thought, the stillness that comes from being comfortable and quiet. In those pauses, men feel space to breathe, to be themselves. That emotional spaciousness becomes more enticing than any visual detail. And there's another element, purpose. A woman who's excited about her own path radiates momentum. Men are drawn to that energy, not because they want to control it, but because it's contagious. Her ambition, creativity, or curiosity lights the air. Her body reflects it in every gesture. Head high, eyes bright, movements intentional. When she loves what she does, her presence changes temperature. That's why artists, teachers, nurses, engineers, dancers, anyone who lives with purpose often appear luminous. The body follows the spirit shapes the aura. So yes, men may notice the outline of her form, the color of her hair, the tone of her skin, but what stays with them is rhythm, the pace of her breath, the cadence of her voice, the steadiness of her gaze. These are reflections of inner life, not surface design. Attraction then is a kind of recognition. A man senses a harmony in her that he wants to feel in himself. He doesn't crave ownership, he craves alignment. He wants to be near the calm that she carries, near the light that her balance creates. Attraction begins in a glance, but it lives in memory. When men talk about the women they can't forget, they rarely mention measurements or statistics. They talk about moments, the way she looked back over her shoulder, the warmth of her tone when she said their name, the calm that filled the room when she entered. It's never just physical. It's a feeling that refuses to fade. That feeling is built on respect. Real attraction grows when both sides feel seen, not sized up. When a woman respects herself enough to keep her standards, she teaches others how to treat her. That quiet boundary is magnetic. It says she values her peace. Men are drawn to that steadiness because it promises honesty instead of chaos. Connection becomes deeper when conversation turns real. A woman who asks thoughtful questions, who remembers small details, who laughs at her own stories. She invites authenticity. Her body language mirrors it. Open palms, steady posture, easy smiles. Every gesture says,
"You can relax here." And that's when attraction turns into trust. Trust changes everything. It slows the pace, softens the edges, makes silence comfortable. When a man feels trusted, he listens differently. When he feels he can trust her, he stays. That balance between curiosity and comfort is the heartbeat of long-term desire. Sometimes the most powerful thing a woman can do is simply be present, not trying to fill every pause, not performing, just being there. Presence is magnetic because it's rare. In a world of constant noise, stillness feels like luxury. Men notice the woman who can hold still without losing energy. And maybe that's the ultimate truth. What men find attractive in women's bodies isn't one single feature. It's the harmony of body and soul, the dance between confidence and kindness, the courage to be natural. It's how she treats herself, how she treats others, how she moves through life with intention. Her beauty is not something she wears, it's something she radiates. A man may be drawn by her outline, but he stays for her essence. He might not remember the color of her dress, but he'll remember how her laugh made him forget his worries. He might forget the details of her face, but he'll never forget how her presence made ordinary light feel golden. That's the quiet power of genuine femininity. It's not about display, it's about depth. It's not about trying to be desirable, it's about being alive. And life, when fully expressed, is the most attractive thing of all. So if there's a secret, it's simple. Take care of your body because it carries your story. Feed your mind because it colors your energy. Guard your heart, but don't close it. And move through the world as if you belong, because you do. When a woman does that, she doesn't chase attention, she creates gravity. Men don't just see her, they feel her, and they remember her long after the first glance is gone. If you felt something in these words, you already know. Real attraction isn't about perfection, it's about presence. So keep shining, keep being unapologetically yourself, and let your energy speak louder than any image ever could. Thanks for watching. If this story made you think or feel, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs a little reminder of their own power, and subscribe for more deep human stories every week.